Good afternoon and happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you to those of you that are tuning in to watch our second Facebook Live series featuring small business innovators. Today, I'm so privileged to be joined with Ryan Gilbert. He's the founder of Rigid AV. So you're gonna hear more from him in just a minute. Also have our May sponsor, Jay Brown with Jay Brown Realtors. Jay, thank you so much for sponsoring our May series.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's good to be here. Want to throw a big shout out to Ryan for coming on today and giving us a little bit of insight into his business and how they're coping right now. And appreciate Catawba County, the Chamber of Commerce, for doing this to help out a lot of folks that can really use this information today. So thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jay, and your whole team. You are a true innovator, and we're so appreciative of your continued support and really for making this possible. I know when Kim visioned this series, the first person she thought of to really make this happen was the Jay Brown Realtors team. So again, Jay, thank you. Thank you again for your partnership. All right, so if you're tuning in and you weren't able to join us on Tuesday, we had Gina Bumgardner. She's the owner of Nailed It DIY Studio in Hickory. And specifically, this series is all about innovation. It's all about how business owners are pivoting and adjusting to hyper change and to the new normal, right, as a result of this pandemic. And so again, I want to thank you for watching live, and I want to encourage you to engage in this interview. And so you have the ability, I have my phone here, you have the ability to help us out and make sure that more people can see this video. So what I want you to do is comment, drop one adjective of how your week is going, so that we can test to make sure our comments come up. Also, I want to encourage you to share the video, or could you start a watch party so that more people can hear from Ryan and what he's doing with his business. Also, if you can hear us loud and clear, give us some wow faces. How about some likes or hearts? So thank you in advance for ensuring that Facebook really likes us and that we are able to reach as many people as possible. Our Facebook Live interview on Tuesday reached over 1,200 people. So we are really, really proud about that. But can we beat that this go round? So again, thank you for your help and helping us share this video and engage with us, because we want to hear. Also, if you have a question for Ryan as I'm going through this, I encourage you to drop it in the question box, because I have the ability to see the comments, and I'll ask Ryan live. So again, thank you for tuning in and thank you for being a part of this. So now, without further ado, our special guest, Ryan Gilbert. Ryan is the founder of Rigid AV, or Rigid Group, as he is continuing to expand his vision for his business. So Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on here. I'm really excited about it. I really enjoyed the one Tuesday and looking forward to it.
Awesome. So a little bit about Ryan, and then we're going to have a little bit of fun with him to lead off this interview. Ryan has over 10 years of experience in the world of audiovisual production. He has a degree from my alma mater, UNC Charlotte, yes, go Niners, in architecture, actually. He started his business 5 years ago. And actually, Ryan, this week, I believe, is a special milestone in your business. You want to tell everybody?
We hit the big 5-year on Monday.
Congratulations. That's a big milestone, I'm sure, and I know you're extremely proud. So congratulations for that. In addition, Ryan, he is focused on providing his best ideas in technology and design to help benefit both our community and our businesses across our region. And I definitely have seen that firsthand as he's partnered with the chamber and provided his services for us directly. But also I've heard from many people that have benefited from his service across the region. So again, Ryan, thank you for coming on today. All right,
Thank you for
so
having me.
we want to do a rapid fire question style, get to know Ryan in 5 minutes or less. Are you ready for this, Ryan?
Let's do it.
Okay. Those viewers that are watching, would love for you to throw some hearts and likes our way as we roll through these questions. So, Ryan, what's your favorite beverage?
In the morning, it's black coffee. In the evening, it's craft beer.
Nice. What's one cause that is near and dear to your heart?
I'm a sustainability nut.
What is the best thing about technology?
I'd have to say its ability to improve quality of life.
What's the worst thing about technology?
How frustrating it is when it doesn't work.
Amen. Amen. You got to hold your mouth right, don't we? What is your favorite sports team?
That's an easy one. The Carolina Panthers.
Nice. Or beach or the mountains? Beach or the mountains?
Give me that sand and warm sun any day.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
It's funny. I'd love to be able to fly, but even though I'm scared of heights and I'm scared of flying.
What is the worst virtual meeting pet peeve?
I probably shouldn't say it on here.
But you're going to anyway, right?
Yeah, the pet peeve would be people not muting their microphone when they should.
What was the last concert you attended?
So I'm glad you sent me this one in advance because I had to think about it. I worked a concert for Blown Ark School for Winterfest, but the last one I attended, not working, was Trampled by Turtles.
Nice. What's one thing you can't live without?
My wife.
Early bird or night owl?
Unfortunately, a night owl.
What was the last book you read?
Jurassic Park. I'm a huge dinosaur nut and finally read the series, and it was better than the movie.
Awesome. If you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Being a serial entrepreneur.
I like it. What's the bravest thing you've ever done?
Besides getting on this call, starting my own business.
Nice. What app do you use most often?
I'm an app junkie, so I have way too many. I challenge anybody to see if they have more than I do. Outside the boring ones, I'd have to go with Spotify.
Pale Ale or Pilsner?
Can I go rogue and say stout?
Yes, absolutely. All right, I hear you. And what is one adjective to describe entrepreneurship?
Bold.
Bold. Awesome. Well, now you guys know a little bit about Ryan. So thank you again, Ryan, for that. Now we're going to get into what we're here to talk about. So again, this series is featuring small business innovators. So I know you've been in this technology space that we've all been thrust into for a long time. And actually, I think you've given me a couple tips along the way of how to best utilize and lean into the more virtual space. But first of all, before we hop in, Ryan, why don't you give the viewers an overview of what services that you can provide them?
Okay. So we're an audiovisual integration and production company. Integration may be a unique word for some of you, but that means we design and install audiovisual components to whether it's a corporate office for a conference room or a church sanctuary or fellowship hall. So we design how technology fits into your space, and then we sell the equipment to you and put it in for you and teach you how to operate it. That's what we call integration as a one term. And then from the production side of that, we do corporate events, which includes things like First Friday Brew, other webinars and things that we've done in the area, as well as festivals and concerts.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So in terms of this digital world that we're in, Ryan, what changes, even though you're familiar and you're comfortable in that space, what changes did you experience when all this began in March?
So that's a interesting and fun question. First of all, obviously events got shut down. So we lost a lot in that. It's been kind of boring when this is supposed to be one of our busier seasons. But it's an interesting question because we weren't set up to be a digital company, even though it's our job to set you up as a digital company.
Wow.
We struggled with that a little bit of how do we work from home? How do we help our clients from where we're at? Because we're very hands-on. It's our job to have you prepared for this. And therefore it was a challenge. We had to step back and say, how can we handle this? How can we do that? We did get a little lucky at the beginning of this. We had a couple open contracts in spaces that were not being utilized. So it was safe for us to go in and finish what we were doing. And now we're trying to figure out how to roll that into the next thing here of let us still help you figure out the virtual world. We're still willing to get out there, in a safe manner to help you implement these things to keep rolling.
Ryan, I appreciate your transparency there because I'm sure many that are watching are really in the same position that you were in March and could potentially still be stuck in that position right now. So from your vantage point, really what has been the most significant disruption as a result for business in general as a result of COVID-19?
I would have to say the ability to meet in person. It's amazing how much the world is interactive and businesses thrive. You need to be able to get products in and put products in and things like that. There's a lot of businesses out there that can thrive from a virtual standpoint, but there's a lot of us still that are boots on the ground. And so I think that's, and we're seeing that, the businesses that are staying successful and staying open are the ones that can thrive in this ability. But the ability to actually see people, or in my case, physically go to their space.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think, just thinking of the chamber in general, I mean, we have definitely pivoted very quickly into meeting and touching our shareholders, investors, but in a different way. And I think that's been a really, it's been abrupt, it's been bold, and you've had to just agree that it's not going to go perfect as you would like to in the physical space, but really make the best of it in order to continue to meet your customers' expectations. So in terms of the platforms or technology platforms that you've seen individuals, businesses use in order to continue to engage, what have, in your opinion, WebEx, Google Meetings, Zoom, fill in the blank. There's so many choices that people have. What, in your opinion, what is the most successful or most effective platforms?
From a video conferencing standpoint, I definitely have to go with Zoom. Sorry to my Google people out there. I'm waiting for round 2 of Google Meet and see how the improvements. But Zoom has been the one that's been easiest to teach my clients. It's been the easiest to implement, and they help us out on the integration. And when we install permanent equipment in your conference room, Zoom collaborates with us to make that happen, which is awesome. But that's on the conferencing end. From a live streaming end, we're encouraging and pushing people to go to Vimeo. It's the most stable platform we've used, and it has the ability to allow you to restream to Facebook, YouTube, and most importantly, your own website, which has been a big push for us lately, is teaching people how to stream to your website, because that's your most valuable platform. It's actually the best way to go, simply because people get distracted on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you can get them to your website, they're less distracted, and it boosts your website traffic. So Vimeo helps you do that. And so we've really been pushing that.
Great. Something else I learned today, if you stream to a live feed to YouTube and you watch it later in the recording, that YouTube gives you the option to speed up that recording. So say it's a webinar of some kind and you're offering, say, an hour's worth of content. I learned today that you can watch it at 1.5 or 2 times the speed and get it done, say an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, that can help you, I guess, be a little bit more productive. Any other thoughts on that?
Well, I saw it. They've been doing that in the podcast world. I told you Spotify is my app of choice. You can actually speed up podcasts too. So if you're listening to something that's a long one, you can, sometimes people get long-winded, drawn out, or things like that, or they're a slow talker, and you can speed it up quickly. I have seen it work at disadvantages where it'll make you sound like a chipmunk, but it is a handy feature on some of these.
Nice. Well, we've all been in this Zoom world, right? We kind of feel like the Brady Bunch stuck in boxes these days as we continue to interact and participate in meetings. And I don't know about you, but I get burnt out. There are some days where I'm on 3 and 4 and even 5 Zoom meetings, and it can be tiring. So what, in your opinion, what can help people with Zoom burnout? And then also in utilizing Zoom or any type of video conferencing software, how can you incentivize people to stay engaged and stay tuned in?
So I'll say on the Zoom burnout piece, or whatever, insert name here, burnout, it's making sure your meeting is relevant, it is efficient, and necessary. We said this in the green room. I've been in several Zoom calls that could have been handled over an email, and I understand people want to see face-to-face interaction, and I get that, and I respect that. But make sure that your content's relevant. Make sure that you're being engaging in it, and one of the ways we've done that is incorporate things into your call that are more interactive, so people aren't sitting there just listening to you talk, or it's not a free-for-all for us to communicate. On my family's end, we use Zoom to talk to one another, to keep up, and we play games in there. We actually have a virtual Jackbox account where we play games with our cell phones, and we all watch each other do it. My pastor at church incorporated trivia into his sermon, where people could literally email in the answer to the question, so he can get that virtual amen that he needs, from day to day. So be interactive with it, and ultimately keep the quality, both in what the content is as well as what you're bringing to the table. And I say that more from the live stream standpoint. Zoom calls are Zoom calls, but I've seen a lot of bad live streams out there, and I'm like, was it worth you putting that out there? Because probably a lot of people didn't watch it simply because the quality wasn't there.
So Ryan, with your event production experience, we're still going to have the need for events, convenings of some sort. And maybe for the first several months, our gathering size is certainly going to be limited. But again, delivering content to a larger audience is going to be necessary. I think of our business, right? And ensuring, a big part of advocacy is awareness, and also ensuring that we are continuing to promote messaging of growth and recovery for our community. And I know other businesses will have the same needs, right? Professional development conferences, things like that. So in your opinion, what do events look like over the next several months, if not year or longer? And how can your company complement how individuals can pivot to adapt the more physical style and maybe create a more hybrid physical virtual space?
It's a very good question. And I've had a lot of people in a similar vein of that question say, do you think live streaming is going to continue after this? And so the answer to that is yes. It was going on before this. I think it's a very valuable tool for spreading your word. And as we continue in COVID, it's the way to get your voice out there, to have your message be heard, to engage with people. It is very important. And I think going forward, as we're gonna, it's gonna be a while before we go back to having a full-on concert and we put 1,000 people in front of a stage. So there might be an element of that where it's more private, intimate events, but other people still want to see that content and that need. So we are encouraging people to start adapting now And what we do is we offer it on both ends of what we do. From an installation standpoint, we sell all the equipment. We're capable of setting you up. We have experience on a lot of these platforms to help you get to the right platform with your equipment. And on the other end, we have equipment for rental, and we operate events. And, you know, we'll come in there looking like, you know, the police with our masks on and everything. And, you know, but we'll stand behind the camera and help shoot your event live. So we can help you do that both in a temporary situation or permanent situation. And we think even after COVID is gone, whatever time frame that is, this is what modern day life is. This is what modern business is, and live streaming video content is going to be here to stay, no matter COVID or not.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. There is a way that we can continue to have events, and, you know, things that we've been thinking of is, even if our gathering size is limited, we could still provide an in-person physical experience utilizing social distancing and all those types of measures to protect people and their health. But in addition, you know, if you exceed capacity, why not stream the event on the internet? You know, like you said, this was happening before COVID-19. This will continue to happen, but I think you're going to see more and more associations or, you know, enter in the blank, businesses that need to appeal to a larger audience transition into that way.
I just want to add one thing to that. Something that's kind of cool that's coming around is we're going to start to see how people interact with your business in that way. So you might have a live stream going on, and who knows, they might pull out their cell phone and live stream from their vantage point, and you're going to have multiple different vantage points going forward of how people are interacting, which I think is kind of a cool concept.
Great point. The potential of reaching more people by utilizing not just an in-person, but the internet really spans geography and spans time and space to provide to expand those that can hear your message. So that's a really good point as well. So what about, you know, people that are watching could potentially, like we said before, they might feel stuck because, first of all, they might be familiar with social media, but beyond that, a little bit uneasy when it comes to video conferencing or when it comes to utilizing any other type of technology to meet their customers from a digital space versus a physical space. Or maybe they're a business owner and, say, I think a financial advisor or a banker, someone that needs to meet with customers one-on-one, but maybe their customers aren't as tech savvy. What are some tips or advice that you would give viewers that had some of those similar issues?
It's kind of what I tell some of my clients is, you know more than what you realize you know. It's a lot of people get frustrated, they get nervous, they get scared. And I say, well, first of all, you know, my grandmother knows how to use FaceTime. And if she can figure it out, I know you can figure it out. And so I encourage people, like, don't get frustrated, be patient, and find somebody that knows what they're doing, AKA us here at Rigid AV, and we'll help you out figuring out, talking you through it. We've actually had one of those cases where a gentleman needed to, his clientele is predominantly older people, and he needed to engage with them. And his first question is how do I do this? I don't even know where to start. And so what did he do? He reached out to a chamber person. This was a different chamber of commerce, but he reached out to a chamber person. They said, I'm gonna connect you with Ryan, because I'm sure he knows. And he and I had a great conversation, and I ended up teaching him how to use Zoom. And then we created a way for him to walk his clients through it, making it as simple as possible. So if you're not tech savvy, you're scared of it, or not sure what you need, find somebody that knows what they're doing. You know, again, give us a call. And then start simple. You don't have to do all the fancy stuff. You don't have to Facebook Live. You don't have to do all that. But, you know, setting up a Zoom call, it takes less than 5 minutes, and you can engage with your clients immediately in a pretty simple format. So I guess my long story short is be patient with it, and use the resources that are available to you the same way you would if we were not in COVID. You know, you don't know how to use a computer. So what would you do? You'd call somebody that knows how to use a computer. So.
Yeah, innovation is all about adapting to change. And most of the time, innovators are the ones that are known as the ones that adapt quickly and first. But regardless, if you react first, as long as you react, you're going to be able to adapt to any change. And so, like you said, encouraging people just to get started. In terms of equipment, Ryan, what types of equipment? I mean, I know that there's like a definite good, better, best, depending upon the need. You know, a FaceTime call, you can, or a simple Facebook Live, or whatever you can use with a cell phone, right? But if you want to do something beyond that, say you want to video, um, uh, create content, or like I said, live stream content, maybe give our viewers some guidance on how they should go about, or what should they acquire, and how they should go about getting it set up.
Okay. So from the simplest level, if you have a smartphone, you can stream live to the internet, or excuse me, to Facebook. And I think Vimeo. YouTube does have restrictions. So again, that's a little tip for you. If you're going to use your cell phone, they have restrictions, but you can do it as simple as your cell phone. We actually sell a microphone that clips onto the top of your cell phone to make your videos even better. Today, the iPhone camera today is fantastic. The microphone, they haven't put as much development in, so we actually sell one, and it comes with a tripod and everything for you. So it can be as simple as a cell phone to go live. And there's a lot of tips and tricks out there, all the way up to, we sell the big scale cameras that you'll see on mega churches, similar to what you see in a broadcast. So the biggest thing is finding a good camera, figuring out your platform, figuring out how that platform works, and then deciding what content you want to put out there and how you want to do it, and do a trial run.
Great advice. Great advice. All right, Ryan, a couple more questions and we're going to wrap up. So this is about you personally. So as all of us, I'm sure, could make a list of how we've been challenged and how we've been changed for the better as a result of this pandemic. So from your standpoint, how do you feel like you've developed as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, who, by the way, has reached an incredible milestone at 5 years? How do you feel that this situation, or this crisis, has challenged and changed you for the better?
I would say it impacted me in a weird way. It forced me to slow down. As 5 years in business, for a while it was just me, and I've been going and going and going and going. And so it made me realize that I should slow down and enjoy what God's given me in this business and what it's been capable of. And so with that, I'm learning maybe how to delegate more, and how to be a little bit more organized, and to space myself out and take time to do things, instead of keeping myself up till 1 and 2 a.m. to figure out how to get it done. So I don't know if that's unique or not. That's how I feel like this has impacted me.
That's great. The old adage, slow down to speed up.
Yeah,
I think is so true. Working on your business versus in your business. I think a disruption like this really forces us to do that. And like any true innovator is often quick to react. And sometimes you're right, we need to take some time to pause and be thoughtful and intentional and strategic. So I love to hear that. So Ryan, what is one thing, if you could leave our viewers who are watching today with one thing regarding change management or regarding being an innovator, what would you hope that they could take away from your experience?
Don't be afraid of change. Be adaptable and be patient.
Awesome. I think there's a lot of giving ourselves and others grace during this time. And you're right. We can't be afraid to fail. And so that's a very powerful message. So thank you again. Ryan, anything else you want to leave the audience with today?
I just appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Some people say I talk too much, so hey, give me a platform and we'll see what happens. But
yeah, that's great. How can they find you? How can they find you and engage with you, Ryan?
We're on Facebook and Instagram, Rigid AV with a Y. So it's RYGID, like my name. And we are rigidav.com. And you can reach me at Ryan, RYAN, at RYGIDAV.com. So rigidav.com.
Ryan, thank you so much again for being my special guest and for allowing me to ask you some questions today. Thank you for your partnership and for your friendship. Thanks also, he has been so loyal to First Friday Morning Brew, our net giving event. And hopefully we can get back to doing that soon, Ryan.
Yes.
Again, thank you for being a guest. Also, I want to thank J. Brown Realtors again for making this happen for us in May and helping us launch this new series. Join us next week. We are back with some more small business innovators. You can see the schedule of events on our Facebook page. Thank you to everybody who's watching, everybody who's engaged and liked and commented. I will encourage you to continue to share this video. Some great insight from Ryan as he talked about how we can adapt, utilizing and leaning into the digital space to help grow our businesses. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support and partnership of your chamber. If we can do anything to assist you now or anytime in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're in it with you. We're here for you. So thank you again. And I hope you have a great rest of the week.